a Game 5, but how will that actually execute will depend on the
approach the compositions with that. But on the other side, a focus needs to be onto Lu Yi. Are we going to take that away from Twisted Minds? Because I want to say they are undefeated with use of that Lu Yi. Despite, I want to say, a lot of these matches being kind of very dominant by both.
Execute will depend on the go, but Weezy leads us into the draft.
Whoa! As we go into the draft, I was trying to figure out how do you wheeze? Like, what is the wheeze? But as we are now into the draft, here we go. Grand finals of the Snapdragon Pro Series is here, Private. We are in the draft for EU, for men and for Turkey. Which way will this go?
Yeah, a big thing for me when it comes to some of these bands here, I'm thinking our lot probably might need to be a focal point for Twisted Minds. Do we take it? Do we give it to FLUX? We've seen how well the side of FLUX can kind of approach the compositions with that. But on the other side, a focus needs to be onto Lu Yi. Are we going to take that away from Twisted Minds? Because I want to say they are undefeated with use of that Lu Yi. Despite, I want to say, a lot of these matches being kind of very dominant by both of these teams, all of the matches that they used to come up to this point. But Lu Yi is just something to behold from Twisted Minds. You see Chip already getting taken off the board. Another global alt type of ability there that you have with his teleports there. But Fredrin taken off the board for FLUX there.
Yeah, and you know, for the side of Twisted Minds, I'm expecting that Lu Yi definitely could be a strong pickup, but they have been profiting a lot on the Valentina. They've been prioritizing that Valentina super early in the draft, but that's usually when they have second pick, so maybe on first pick they don't go for that. Another thing that's been working in their favor is the Moskov. It's been dominating that late game presence, the global presence, the Spirit of Destruction to be able to get to the other side at a moment's notice has just been huge in the Snapdragon Pro Series. But there is still a marksman who is yet to be banned on the table, and that is Roger, still available for the picking and could be slotted up first for the side of Twisted Minds if FLUX doesn't ban it out.
Yeah, especially with Harith taken off the board. The only real counter to the laning phase for Roger taken off there. So I'm expecting to see that out there. There goes the Lu Yi. So are we going to be maybe focusing on the Barats first? Or do we pick up that Roger pick for the side of Twisted Minds? Or maybe just go on something different altogether. Maybe even an XP laner we can start this thing. But nope, they're going to go with the Barats. A very strong and firm with Fredrin taken off the board. Barats kind of reigns supreme there in the jungle as that heavy hitter that can kind of hold the objectives.
Yes, we should see a Valentina possibly walk here, maybe the Roger. Both of them should maybe go to the side of FLUX. I do like the Barats being picked up first. I figure, I mean, hey, you can either get the Roger or you can get the Moskov, so you might as well just play it safe and just pick up the Barats, who's the best jungler still left on the table. It is going to be that Moskov that we talked about, though, going to take that away from Sano, his comfort pick. Even yesterday, the one game that Twisted Minds did not run the Moskov, they lost. So it's definitely a huge comfort pick for the side of Twisted Minds to lean on and a good counter in the draft for FLUX.
Yeah, FLUX yesterday, too, also was able to combine this Edith with a Ruby and a Carmilla on their team. And you want to talk about suppression and CC on a team. You're talking about already having a stock of like a 3-6 stunning abilities. Combine that with Carmilla's blood, with her Curse of Blood, and you're basically just in a coma for like entire objective fights. There wasn't enough Purifiers in the world to kind of save their opponents, and it really showed in that domination yesterday. As you talked about, the Valentina being prioritized by the side of Twisted Minds, as well as the Paquito. I like the Paquito. I don't see him often enough when it comes to like compositions that really need that burst type of damage. As soon as he gets level 4, the man is just laying out haymakers, no pun intended, just so much damage that he can kind of dish out right from the get-go, and that's something that you really want in that XP lane for some of those objective fights.
Yeah, and when Twisted Minds went up against Birthright, it was focused on the Paquito. They banned the Paquito every single game because they know how strong of a team Twisted Minds can be with that Paquito on their side. So definitely kind of look out for that. This is interesting, though. We are seeing the Vexana. I've been wondering. I haven't seen as much Vexana Prio in the Snapdragon Pro Series, and I've been wondering why, but now we're going to see it slotted over there for the side of FLUX Esports, and I think it does some great damage, especially toward that late game, and the zonage from that Eternal Guard when it drops down is pivotal to those neutral objectives.
Yeah, and with the Paquito, it kind of means that we don't really have something that's able to dive into that back line. Paquito's going to have to kind of just come at her, and like one of the worst ways to kind of come at a Vexana is like right in front of her. She has just so much CC that she can stop you with. Not just that, but the pressure that you can exert onto the objective means that you can have basically the Barats stunned when he wants to retribution. You have the Eternal Guardian that can come out. You just have a lot of ability to suppress the enemy, especially if you're going to have a CC type of composition. Right now we see Edith on their team, so we're already going to have 2 knockups there to kind of be able to kind of help out a little bit. I want to say one is a single target, one is a group knockup if she can kind of get into a position there as well. Moving on to some of the next bans, you talked about the Lolita that came out, and that's actually going to be banned out. How long has it been since we've seen a Lolita ban here?
I think it was back in the M series with our greatest roamer in North America, Shark, spearheading the way. It's at least the last time that I've really seen it prioritized, but it's been showcasing it. So I think it's like the 4th or 5th time picked up in the Snapdragon Pro Series, and this is why I love to see how meta shifts and blends across other regions. And speaking of blending and shifting, as we are looking at the draft so far, we have yet to see the roamer for both sides. We see the Lolita taken out, we see the Minotaur taken out, that Masha taken off the table as well. Now the Kufra has been huge in the Snapdragon Pro Series, and the Grok as well. Both of them have had amazing set potential for both sides. Maybe slotted in, but speaking of slots, 0 times banned, first time pick or 1-time pick with 100% win rate. Dairoth is in the building.
Yeah, if you want something to be able to clash with the tankiness of a Barat, Dairoth is your man. He's going to be able to cut down that shield, cut down that armor, and basically be able to lay into a bare Barat. However, what he does have in damage, he doesn't really make up for in his squishiness. We don't really have a ton of CC on the side of Twisted Minds, so it's really going to be